I know what can probably fix it if I restart my computer, but I don't feel like it.
JC,
Yeah.
what's up, man? Dragon Con?
Where's that?
That's Atlanta. It's in your backyard. It's at the crib.
I had no idea when it. Huh.
What they call that? I got a couple. The guys that have done my cosplay, they go every year. They call that motherfucker the. They call that mug the adult Comic Con. So that
I've never
motherfuckers,
been.
I might pop out.
Yeah.
They talking about going. I might pop out.
Pop bottles.
I'm playing fucking squeeze. My chick's birthday is around like the same time era. So I gotta see if I can line it up.
Nah.
First of all, was anybody even surprised that Homeboy died?
I was.
I wasn't. I was just like, well, of course.
Oh. Oh.
Yo.
By the way.
Are we? Shit. What's good, everybody? Technical difficulties. OBS is screwing us over each and every way. Craziness. Gotta love good old OBS. Gotta love it. Yeah. See. Odd. I call it is out.
What's going on, Edward?
Who's it?
I'm just looking at something for work.
Touche, young grasshopper. Touche.
Nobody knows. How you gonna? I had to redo like the whole scene and everything for OBS. So like,
I put it in Discord and I put it on my in my community section. So
now I'm talking about for the OBS. I had to redo the scene.
Oh,
All the scenes are messed up.
bro, it's craziness. What's going on, Edward?
So like, I would not want to redo all my scenes. Like if I had to redo all my scenes in like Streamlabs, it don't take long.
It's long enough. It's long enough. Well, since we fashionably late.
Not even fashionably at this point.
I guess we can go ahead and get into it, man. Let's not wasting more time. Let's make it quick, since I know it's late for everybody, mainly JT.
It's something like 11 here or something like that.
So we're gonna try to make it
It's a
quick.
great nap today.
Must be nice. I wish I could do. Wish I could do stuff like that. I can only do stuff like that on the weekends now, if I'm lucky.
Oof, that's like a rough
I
life.
know. It is. But what's up, everybody? We're back with the Beginning at the End podcast. Sorry for the technically 30-minute delay. OBS been tripping, man. OBS is not being kind today.
New update was not great.
Yeah, that the new update for OBS wasn't the best, unfortunately, but we're gonna make it work. We're here now. That's all that matters. We're here to discuss chapter 108 of T-Bait and the mysteries that lies ahead for us. Hopefully, we can figure it out or maybe get on the right track. We won't be too far lost. But I'm JD. Y'all already know who I am. With me, of course, we have JC, aka always Jay Carson. How you doing?
Man, it's a great day. Great day to be alive out here.
It is. It is. Rest in peace, Marcois. Uh,
I was like, who? Never mind. Took me a second. I was like, guy.
he was fodder anyway. And Trent motherfucking money. Y'all already know who it is. What's going on, Trent?
What's going on, man? Yeah, definitely fodder. Wasn't surprised he died.
Yeah,
I think fodder deserves more respect out here in these streets, honestly.
I mean, fodder does.
Nah, he got the appropriate amount of respects with fodderism.
I mean, he moved the story along, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he did more than the normal fodder. Can we at least give him that? Can we at least say he did more than the normal fodder that we're used to?
I don't think he did more, honestly. I was trying to give him more clout, but
Oh well, shit.
I tried. I just want to know. Okay, so the question is:
right.
at what point in the story do we see somebody and then we call them fodder? What if they're a main character that just happens to fall off, and then we call them fodder? Like, where's that start and end?
Give me an example of a main character that fell off.
Right. Yeah, I need that.
Y'all gonna make me do this? I don't want to do this. Baby girl, Cha Hee-in.
Was she technically a main character?
I mean,
Right.
at the beginning of the story, the S ranks for Korea, they were all over the place. Choi,
Yeah.
Bak. I mean, you're talking about there were the people that you looked up to. There were the S ranks. They were everywhere in the story.
They weren't main characters,
but they were prevalent in the story.
They were just powerful characters in the story. Okay, that's like saying
Go-Gun Hee, prevalent. I mean,
yeah, I get it, but they were never.
Well, is the main
I can't
character.
say that they didn't fall off though. Sung Jin-woo just increased.
Yeah, and
That's
at this point in the story, they're fodder because they're so weak. That's
right, but that's out of their control. They didn't fall off. That's just people entering the story that are stronger than them.
Yeah.
Okay, then Piccolo, Krillin, Yamcha, yeah.
Okay, I'll give you Piccolo.
I mean,
maybe if you gotta go more detail. Did he fall off really? He reached his limit. He had already fused with another nigga.
Yeah, I mean, his limit was Kami. That was pretty much his limit.
he continuously gets stronger. He's not just staying plateaued. Just
but he probably still had a limit.
Yeah, he doesn't have like the normal. I mean, of course, nobody has the same limit.
Gohan.
When they reached Super Saiyan 2, he was basically like, "Yo, they're stronger than I'll ever be."
Gohan.
Okay, yeah, he definitely fell off.
We can say Gohan fell off. I can give you Gohan.
Yeah, I'll give you that easy.
I can give you that. I can give you Gohan.
Anyway,
it wasn't his fault though. But anyway, all right. So
don't do that. Definitely was his fault.
Look, man, I'm just keeping it real.
What's going on, Muhammad?
It wasn't that man's fault. But let's go and get into the chapter, man. So we start off with the chapter. With the Lances. Baron and Aaliyah start off with the two Lances, finishing their conversation with Good Sky and Claire fangirling out over the Lances because she wants to be a Lance one day, which I guess is par for the course. There's someone very powerful. They're young, quote unquote young. I'm guessing they're about like in their 20s or something.
Right.
And of course, all the young mages look up to him, which we would expect to happen. They're like the people to strive for if you're up and coming mage to be one of the Lances, one of the strongest in the kingdom. So that's always good. But Baron I don't know if Baron sensed Arthur any ill will or intent with Arthur, or he sensed Arthur was a dual elemental mage when he walked by him as they were walking out. That was a little I don't know how that technically worked, but we know Arthur definitely realized how much stronger Baron and Aaliyah was compared to him. and even Sylvie realized it. So that kind of put him in place a little bit. Kind of gave him a reality check, just because he knows now exactly how far he has to go in order to catch up to him. So, but do you think that Baron like kind of felt some kind of ill will towards Arthur when he walked past him and gave him that look, or do y'all think that was more of just he sensed Arthur was a dual elemental mage, and that's pretty much the reason why I gave him that look, but it wasn't nothing or anything more than just that.
Mm,
I would imagine Arthur was concealing, because the old girl did mention that he was at least trying to conceal his killing intent. Now he may have noticed that he was concealing and therefore can gauge that he's fairly strong. You know what I mean? But I think he was just kind of looking down on him.
yeah, I would have to agree with that point. Like when I read it, it kind of seemed like he was maybe not really asking like why he's there, but kind of looked at him like, okay, like you're part of the DC. You know, I'm pretty sure Good Sky has mentioned him before, so
Right.
therefore, you know, he's looking at him like, okay, we understand you have a little bit of talent, but dual elemental, like, why are you here? Like, why is this guy calling you here? That type of thing. Your first year, like, he probably knows he's a freshman.
Right.
And so he kind of looked at him like, okay, but at the same time, like, so far above him, which I loved, which is very good for the story, and actually all the Lances are so far above the Arthurs right now. It's good to see.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely good to see. I mean, we kind of figured that we already came to the conclusion that the Lancers were light years away from Arthur at his current point. Granted, we know how strong Arthur is, but like this is kind of like Jinwoo first awakening, compared to like nation levels at this point. At
Really,
least
that far down?
that's how they're building up the Lancers, like for the Lancers to be just like light years ahead of Arthur at this point.
Okay,
Um,
so I have just a random question. Static,
I'll try to
like
give you a random answer.
static void
Mm-hmm.
seems to be broken, but if he used it, do you think that puts him on? Not say on par. Do you think he could like take them out with that move, or you think that they would be able to somehow counteract it because they are that strong, like their magic's that strong?
Which move? Which move?
Static void. When
Static Void.
yeah, the static void is like he's the only one in that space able to move or understand what's going on.
I'm sure there's a way to counter Static Void. We haven't really seen Static Void enough, especially in battle, to really kind of gauge of what other people can do in it, especially a stronger person. I mean, the only person we seen was what's his name? Sebastian. Which was the guy in the kingdom. I think that's his name, Sebastian. So I'm pretty sure if like a Lance or somebody that's like incredibly strong probably will have probably be able to kind of counter that. Is maybe not far as like using the same move or nothing like that, but probably just being able to move around better in that flow of time.
That's what I'm saying. Like you think about it, like when he used it when he was fighting against Lucas. I mean, the teacher Lucas, nobody knew how he went from point A to point B. Like they're still trying to figure out how he did it.
Yeah, I think he can do it. I think he can take him.
I'm saying like if it came down to it, and his life is in danger, like static void and be able to kill them.
Mm-hmm. I think he'd be able to take them just because of the increase. Now, I don't get me wrong. I agree with you when it comes to like him or somebody being stronger than him being good for the story, but it's kind of different from the solo leveling aspect, in which like it's to be expected. Like it's not even that he doesn't really walk around expecting not to get beat. He just really hasn't met a challenge yet. You know what I mean? Now these guys, he kind of was just like, okay, yeah, these niggas are powerful. I just don't think he would want to go into a situation where he'd have to use where his trump card would be the only card that could give him a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
he probably wants to be able to go in there and get comfortably to take a dub.
Right. I just wondering because like when Aaliyah basically got the jump on him, like Sylvie was like seemed like the first person to realize like, okay, there's somebody behind me, and then Arthur reacted second. And by the time like he reacted to it, he would like if she wanted to kill him, it'd have been too late. So at that point, like, yeah, he could use static void maybe, and they might be able to counteract it, but he would have to be fast enough to know that, you know, he was in danger. And at that point, he wasn't. And she's the weakest. That's why that's why I was asking him. I was just thinking about it when I was streaming about it.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely something to think about as far as that aspect goes. I don't know. I really don't know. Like I said, we really haven't got a good grasp
Right.
on how good Static Void is against somebody that's stronger than him. Hopefully we'll get that in the future though. Trying to get like some kind of idea on the power of Static Void with higher level opponents.
Right.
So definitely something to keep an eye on going forward. But after that, of course, Arthur walks out. Well, not Arthur, before Arthur even walks out. We talk to Good Sky, try to get a feel of what's going on, give pretty much the breakdown of what happened with Marcois, and comes to find out that Good Sky knows what the hell is going on. She has I don't know if she knows exactly who, but from the conversation look like she has an idea of who is behind this.
Bro, is she the ops?
Good Sky?
Yeah.
Oh no, man! Look, man. Good Sky. Look, she moving kind of suspect. I will definitely agree with that. She is definitely moving real suspect right now. It's not looking good for Good Sky. From my point of view.
I'm gonna go with she's not.
That's yeah.
What's later?
I'm gonna say she's hip, but she definitely. She need to go ahead and let everybody know what the fuck going on.
It seems like from that perspective, like they're making it too obvious that she would be a traitor, but in that aspect, they made it so obvious that she's probably not. Like, okay? My question is she from the other continent, but you know she was sent there to do a certain thing, but she decided not to do it? Type situation, like she was on the other side, but now she's
that'd be
not.
tight.
I would love that, but I really don't know. They made it seem like it's too obvious that she's a traitor or she's on the other side, but it can't.
The only unsettling thing is she was basically like, yeah, there will be sacrifices. Like niggas are going to die. But when you think about it, like let's say when it's like the Akatsuki and like you know the hidden leaf, a Naruto reference. We're gonna go ahead and throw out
like okay,
all right,
like the elders. You know what I'm saying? Hokages. They knew about a roundabout of shit that was popping off. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, they got word of the Akatsuki and crap like that. Shit, they knew shit was going on, but they didn't really like. Eventually, they had to go ahead and let their guys know. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure they knew at that point. Getting involved with the Akatsuki is putting like the village and their own guys like in harm's way. They probably knew there was going to be some sacrifices. I mean, shit, we knew the elders was about sacrifices. They didn't give a fuck anyway. They was regularly killing the Uchihas, but
that's the whole damn Naruto.
But yeah, but you know what I'm saying. They don't really like you. I mean, even going to war, they knew niggas is the fourth great ninja war. They know niggas gonna die.
But what are we sacrificing and why are we sacrificing? She talking about sacrificing students for whatever she knows is coming. Like, and who is she? She referred to somebody that is moving faster than she thought they would, or than they said they would. it's just looking like Good Sky on this. It's like she knows what's going on. She knows what's going to happen. Is she actively trying to prepare a defense, or is she just stalling or trying to stall? I mean, it's too many questions.
I'm not gonna lie, low key, it looks like she's trying to stall. I don't know what she's waiting for. Personally, my thoughts on the matter is she's putting all of these students at risk, especially the disciplinary committee members, because if they're going to be the ones that's going to be having to deal with these kids and these markings on their back and going crazy with all this mana fluctuation and stuff and change of personalities, they should know firsthand what they have to do, what they're dealing with, what they're up against, what's the signs, all of this stuff, because it seems like she knows way more than what she's letting on. She already knows that some people are going to die from this, or at least get seriously injured. Even Avier said that. So my thing is, I don't know why she won't tell. Even if you don't tell like all the DC members, at least tell Arthur. You the one that put Arthur in this, you know, position anyway from the beginning. This man wanted to live a quiet, normal life. You pushed him into the disciplinary committee. Then you push him into being a teacher. You're making him like your quote unquote star pupil, if you will, or whatever the case may be. Your pride and joy of Cyrus Academy, and you won't even tell this man what the hell is going on. After low key, he could have got seriously injured from this man. Granted, we knew that wasn't going to happen, but I'm just saying, like, he could have really gotten injured against the little skirmish with Marcois if he wasn't really careful or paying attention. And the fact that you won't get this man some kind of explanation or something to work with, like, it's real sus, man, real sus.
Okay, so I guess my question is, I don't remember. This guy wasn't. She the founder of Zyrus Academy?
I don't know if she's the founder. I just know that she's the director.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
think
know
it
how long it's
was
been
said.
here.
I don't think it was ever said if she was the founder or whatever the case, or who was the founder.
Okay,
All we know is that she's just a director.
okay. Even if she's not the founder, she's been the director. I'm guessing for a while now, right? You
Right.
have the most prestigious academy.
Mhm.
With now you have every
Okay.
royal.
Khalil says she is the founder.
Okay, well, that even makes it worse. She's the founder of the academy. Before that, she had all the royals, all their wanted to send their kids to the most prestigious academy. Now you have an alliance where you're sending elves, you're sending everybody who is a royal, anybody who's anybody has their kids there, right?
Right.
Therefore, if she's on the other side, you have hostages of every important person that you know. Anybody who is of royal blood, anybody who is high status, their kid goes to that school, and now you have hostages. Anybody, you can do whatever you want to with that continent, right? Because their kids
Right.
goes there, right? But that is saying that she's on the other side. She's a traitor. At the same time, even if you did want to tell Art about what's going on, he is very perceptive. You're thinking of an 11 or 12-year-old that is perceptive, who is really strong, but she doesn't know he's has an adult mind, adult consciousness. So you can't really tell. Think about telling a smart or genius 11-year-old or 12-year-old now about the workings of the world. It's gonna blow their mind. You can't really tell Arthur all that. Saying like, okay, I guess this is my theory. Okay, I was from another continent. There's another continent out there, and they're going to attack, but I'm trying to stop them. And this is what I've been trying to do, trying to build up the magic, uh, not the magic, trying to build up the next generation to make them stronger. That's why I brought you here. I thought I had more time, but now I don't. Like that's a lot to put on a kid's plate, especially if you don't know of Arthur's, past.
I would agree with that. However, she knows good and well Arthur is not a normal kid.
I mean, just because you think he's not a normal kid doesn't mean like, okay, like just let's just say Arthur was a prodigy, a genius, which he is.
Yeah, she can't prove that he's anything.
Yeah, she doesn't know he had a whole adult
Yeah.
life. He was
That point, yeah. But given the fact that one, you know, every time you want something from him or want him to do something, you have to make sure you're on your P's and Q's and you have something to bargain with.
right.
Two, Avery has already told you, keep this man as a friend. Do not make him an enemy or it's going to be the downfall of the continent.
Right.
Three, you obviously know this man is a prodigy. He's strong, he's smart, and he's even teaching you things that you don't even know. And there's simple things for him, like the mana shield, the new improved quote unquote mana shield
Right.
that you didn't even know. So you know this kid is not a normal kid.
Definitely.
You
100%.
you can tell this kid has been through a lot so far, whereas dealing with the Elder Guardian, Lucas, all of this other stuff. Like on top of that, you put him in this position in the first place. Whether if you want to put in like Claire or Tess or any other disciplinary members, fine. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. That's probably too much for them. But this one particular person who you know is nothing like the rest, and who you know will probably be the only one to help you when the time comes, you should be able to tell him. Or even if it's not the whole thing, give him something to somewhat, better prepare himself for what's to come.
Yeah, I mean, understandable. Yes. I definitely wouldn't tell him everything because, like, even though you might understand that this kid is way smarter, he's able to process information better than most 11 and 12-year-olds. Like, Good Sky looks like she's in her 70s, 80s, whatever. Like, you've seen so many 11, 12-year-olds, probably since a prodigy, so you just don't know. I mean, Arthur is special, we get that, but you just don't know. You're used to dealing with other 11, 12-year-olds. Like, you know how they deal, how they move. She's been working this plan for years now, probably 60 plus years. I mean, like, let's just put it like this, right? Like, Good Sky is the founder of the school. She has been moving behind the scenes, doing things that maybe they were for the continent, maybe that are against the continent. We don't know, but we've seen her she's been, how do I say, inept. She has been making mistakes here recently. The mistakes were when it comes to Tessia and her beast will. She knew the beast will was unstable. She didn't tell the teacher that it was unstable. She didn't mention it to Arthur that it was unstable, but she still let her do combat training, which she knew about that was going to happen, and it went out of control and got Arthur hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was making all these mistakes and not telling Arthur, like, she knew about the blood stuff, but she didn't tell Arthur once again. Like, she's making so many mistakes recently. Where's her mind been? What has she been thinking about? What's going on is keeping her from doing her job as the dean or the headmaster of a school. So I'm trying to figure out what's Good Sky's intentions. What's she trying to do? What side is she on? Might be the ops, bro. Let's put it this way.
I mean, that would low key. That would be a nice twist if she is the ops.
Curse of silence.
Maybe she has the sorcerer's stone.
I was thinking very much Harry Potter when I was going through that.
Oh man, but I don't know. That would be a nice twist. As far as story wise, that Good Sky is indeed the op. She is indeed the person that we've been speculating that's doing all of these things to these kids, and who is actually trying to take down the country of the Cathans. So that would be a nice twist. I don't think that's the case, but it would be a nice twist. So let's play hypotheticals real quick.
Okay, hold on. Before we play hypotheticals,
all right.
I'm gonna say I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody. All I'm gonna say is I read one title of what's gonna happen, so therefore I'm figuring out. I'm trying to figure out how it's gonna happen, or what leads up to it, but I don't know yet. I didn't read chapter.
Alrighty, so we're gonna play hypotheticals. Let's
Go
just
for
say
it.
this guy is the ops. Let's say she's the ops.
Well, I think she is. Yeah.
All right, let's say she is. What does that mean going forward as far as the school goes? We know she's been at the school for years. She founded the school. Is she trying to take the entire country down? Would that be the reason why she's doing this? If she is indeed the imposter among us?
Ooh,
I see what there.
yeah. I like what you did there.
Yeah, yeah.
I personally think that Good Sky might have came to this continent to do certain things, but I think she got too invested. Honestly,
So you think it's like a dare I use an Attack on Titan reference here? With some other people that invaded and pretended to be something they were not. And then when the time came, they had to turn their backs on their very same cadets, squad mates.
not exactly, because I think Good Sky is literally on the side of the students on a continent now. So I don't think she's gonna, eventually turn and be like, okay, now I'm gonna. I think she's really like contemplating. Like, I think she really tried to make this continent and try to move the technology forward, trying to do all these things, but they're moving faster than expected. So now she's like, okay, I'm guessing new continents coming faster than expected. She wasn't ready for them to start to move like they're moving, so she's kind of panicking and trying to gather information, but I think it's kind of too late.
Now, do you think it's a new continent, or do you think it's just somebody else in the country itself that is, I guess we could say, quote unquote, pulling the strings here, being the actual puppeteer?
The reason why I would say it's a new continent is because this type of magic doesn't seem to be something that is common
Mm-hmm.
that many people know about. Because I mean, I call it blood magic. They did like confirm that it was blood. I call it blood magic. It might not be the actual magic, it's blood magic. Like, they don't seem to be aware of this type of magic in this continent. I mean, this country that they live in. So that's why I'm going with a different one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like, if you think about it, like, deviant magic is magic that deviates from what the four elements. That's all it is. So it doesn't mean that there's only a finite amount of magic that you can do. It's just magic that's different than what they're used to seeing. So healing magic, ice magic, lava, magma, or metal, or something like that. Just different magic than just the regular stuff you're seeing. So blood magic isn't out of the ordinary. It would just be something like Avatar. It's like you're literally using the water inside someone's body to control them or control the mana inside them. That's all it is. So it would just be a continent that is more advanced in magic than the continent that was decadent.
It's definitely a tricky one. So if she's not, well, if she is, and she's just trying to stall time or whatever the case may be, whose side is she gonna be on when all hell breaks loose?
I just don't see her doing all this stuff and then this turning and be like, yeah, I did all this years of work to build up school just to betray everybody. It doesn't seem like her personality.
I mean, it doesn't, but I mean, if you're trying to fool everyone,
Okay, you're right.
You gotta play the role, you gotta play the part if you're trying to fool people. And then when the time comes, that's when everything changes. That's when your whole personality changes. Maybe she's psycho. Maybe she's the Harley Quinn of somebody else's Joker or something.
Okay, so what about what Avier said? Not this last chapter, but the chapter, a couple chapters before, where he's like, "Hey, don't make an enemy of him," that type of thing. It seems like they were thinking they had a couple more years to add more time because he wasn't talking about the current Arthur or the current Sylvie. He was talking about in the future, like, hey, like in the future, they're gonna be something to deal with. And he said, I don't know if I can handle Sylvie in the future. So like, be careful how you deal with them. But he's not talking about right now. He's talking about in the future. So
Right.
maybe their plans were supposed to happen a couple years down the road.
Possible.
Man, I want to read light novel so bad.
I know T-Bait definitely makes you want to read the light novel. Just throw everything else aside, just read the light novel and go from there. Definitely makes you want to do that. Definitely does. All right, so let's move on a little bit. All right. So next, Arthur walks out, sees Baron talking to Lucas. Don't necessarily know what we're talking to Lucas for, but they're brothers, so we figured they was gonna talk eventually. Malia comes out, pretty much was about to chop the man head off, but it was just, I guess a scare tactic, if we will, or just trying to see how good his reaction time was and everything like that. Talk to him a little bit. The only information we really got out of this is that one, she may know him or know of him before this meeting. Um, she also sensed that he's a dual elemental mage, at least from what his mana is leaking out is just two attributes, but we know that's not necessarily true. And also we found out that she is the weakest of the lances. At least according to her, she's the weakest of the lances. How do we feel about that? Personally, I hate to see arguably, probably not even arguably, but let's just say the best looking lance in the group being the weakest. That kind of sucks.
I'm really mad about that.
I mean, it low-key kind of sucks, man. Low-key kind of sucks. But I mean, do you think that she knew Arthur before this interaction she had? Because she kind of gave off of a friendly big sister vibe or something, but it kind of would make sense. Maybe she has
thing to what's it called too?
Who?
What's that redhead girl's name?
Claire,
yeah. I gave out that vibe when but Baron ignored her. She came out and said like, gave her a little advice.
Yeah,
she seems like that type.
Mm.
But to answer your question,
yeah,
I mean, I was trying to go on the opposite spectrum of it. What's going on, Lothar? That you have Arthur, who is a human, who lived in the royal castle, was friends with Tessia, who was a princess, trained by the former king. Like, it's kind of hard for people not to know who Arthur is. Like, they might not have, like, the name, maybe they probably, not everyone has seen his face. So, I mean, it's like a regular, not even a regular person, he's human, and there have many humans in that kingdom. So, like, it's kind of hard for me to argue the fact that no one has seen him or heard of him, especially if you're an elf and he had, I think, was it 400 years or something like that? The humans that foot in there. So, like, she's probably heard of him. I don't know if she would have put two and two together and say that this particular person was the person that was living there for 4 years. I can't say that. but her being the strongest, maybe not, was it 7-8 years ago, she might not be the strongest, but being one of the strongest elves, she
Right.
probably heard of him as a kid. I don't think she put that information together at that current moment.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess it just depends on where she lived, how deep, she was in the or tied in she was with the royalty or whatever. But like you said, it could be like it was years ago. Like even if she had a faint memory, or even if she just didn't remember, or she just like you said, remembered but didn't put two and two together. I think it would probably be one of those cases. I just don't think that those guys in general know much about him. You know what I'm saying? Because from what I understand, they're not like permanently on campus, right? They were just visiting her, so
Right.
they wouldn't really know shit about him for real.
I get it. Like this is there's no social media, right? So you not go see regular pictures of Arthur. You might hear about him if you're not near the royal capital. Then you heard about a human, but unless she literally met him, she's not gonna see a picture of him. So yeah, the redheaded human that was there could be Arthur, could not be Arthur. I don't think she probably heard of him. She might not put that together that it's actually the same person. Unless Good Scott said something about Tessia and Arthur.
Which no good guy at the rate we do. She probably let something slip.
She is pretty proud of Arthur. Like every time she gets a chance to say something about Arthur, she does. So
Yeah, she extremely proud, extremely proud. So that's another reason I think that could be the case. But
so
I mean, go ahead.
so I guess my question is, she is the weakest, right? So how do we? I guess I asked the question before, but how are we feeling about Arthur not even be able to react? I mean, he reacted, but acted real slow to her, and she was able to perceive his bloodlust. She does have the highest perception of the lances, but see his bloodlust, snuck up on him fast enough, had a weapon drawn, literally could have killed Arthur in that instant.
Right.
He reacted way too late. I get that the lances are strong, but she's the weakest, and she said she said Barian is not. He's not even the strongest. He's comparable to the strongest, but he's not even the strongest.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's terribly, monstrously strong.
Right, compared to her.
Yeah, compared to her, and she could have killed Arthur at that moment.
Right. So I don't know, man. It's crazy. I don't know. Kind of stumped. I low key want to read the novel, but I don't want to spoil myself.
Okay, so are we? Okay, so my question is,
Right.
what makes them so strong? Does core level really mean that much in this world? Like Arthur, what, light orange or whatever, getting ready to be yellow?
I don't think it's core level so much as core level. Let me say that. I don't think it's so much of core level. I just think it's mainly the fact that one core level plays a part. Let me say that. Core level plays a part. But I think it's also just the amount of experience that also plays even a bigger part than the core level. Because they're older, they've been through more, they've been training a lot longer.
Not compared
And
to Arthur though.
what, as far as training?
I mean, not training, but the experience level. Arthur's, was
Yeah. We
one of
can
the
say
strongest in his world back then.
yeah, but Arthur is in a kid body and his body cannot keep up with his mind as far as what he wants it to do.
That was years
Also,
ago, though.
it's still the same.
He's been working on
But
that since years ago.
yeah, but even then, even with all the experience, even with that, look what just happened. she could have chopped his head right off if she wanted to.
Yeah, but
And he wouldn't have been able to do anything about it.
we're not talking about experience at that point.
But that also goes to just years of training, and also I don't think core has anything to do with that. But I'm just saying that also goes with years and years of battle experience and knowing how to move in this type of world.
Well, I mean, I think that would definitely go with core level because, like,
Well, when
Arthur
did we ever get core level does anything as far as like being able to move that fast?
Okay, so think of it like this. They were talking about how Lucas, if I'm not mistaken, Glory said something about he had the mana of a core level that was like around white or something like that. Like he had a vast amount of mana, right? And then when it came to was it Marcois, he had even stronger amount of mana when he was being controlled or being influenced by that blood magic. And we saw Arthur had a little bit of trouble in his current, nerfed form. He thought he might have to take his limiter off to deal with it. So a silver mage. So that's what I'm saying. Like core level, just the core level or the association with, okay, this person has this core level makes them that much stronger. Like core level seems to be the difference. Like Arthur has the experience of battle, the experience of fighting life or death battles, but when it comes to dealing with magic and the core levels and everything in this world, the higher core level you are, the difference between augmenter and a conjurer starts to disappear. So therefore, you start to get stronger. Like the higher core level, the stronger you are. But therefore, core level seems to be like the higher core level you are, the stronger you are, the faster you are, you're able to do a lot more. But we haven't gotten to that point yet. Because if it was just battle experience, then Arthur should be leaps and bounds ahead of all these kids. He was the strongest in his world. He just used key at that point.
I mean, that's all well and good, but still, Arthur is still he isn't in his body of what he used to be in this old world.
Right.
So, regardless of how experienced his mind is, that has absolutely nothing to do with his body that he's currently in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I get that. I get that. I just feel like since like when he was in his kid body.
If you take the experience you have right now, the experience, the strength, and everything you have right now, and go back to when you was 13, do you think your 13-year-old body will be able to move and do exactly the same things you'll be able to do right now?
13.
Well, technically 12. So technically we have to go 12. He's 12.
Okay, I would say that. Okay, to answer the first question, no, not my 12-year-old body. Of course not. But the difference between Arthur and me is that back when Arthur first realized that, okay, I'm in a smaller body when he was training, when he's going through his adventure training, that was the whole point. Like, I worked on magic so much that I realized that when I started fighting, that I can't do things in this smaller body that I could when I was an adult. That was the whole point of him, like kind of foregoing his magical training and doing sword fighting just to get used to the body that he's in. He was smart enough to realize that, okay, forget about magic. I need to learn how to fight in this body. He went through that already. He did that whole training. That was the whole point of it.
Yeah, he's still not in the body that he's going to end up. I mean, he's still in a young body.
He's still in a young body, but at the same time, he's learned how to
He can
fight
control this body fully, but it still has limitations. That's also another thing why I don't really trip off the power gap, because it's like he also knows like there are still physical limitations that he is going to break just off of like natural growth.
Yeah, I mean puberty, and
right.
When you get your adult body, of course you can be stronger. I get
if we get to that point.
If we get to that point. Chapter 108. That's the light novel, the chapter that TAPAS gives us. That's why I named it. Anyways. Yeah, I mean I get it. I just think core level has so much to do with, just how strong they are, how fast they are. Like, I think it has so much to do with the initial story that experience won't be able to make up for. I'm not sure what stages their core is at, but I'm telling you right now I think it has something like to do with everything. Every time you break through a different color, everything just increases. Like it's like a stat points. Everything increases.
Whole thing, which was kind of what I put in the chat. We've been told all this time through each show we do, each pod we do, every time we discuss core levels, what was the one thing we was constantly told over and over? Think of these cores as more like a gas tank. The more you have, the bigger your core, which is far as stages, the more mana reserves and all of that you have, right?
Okay.
That's what we've been told.
Mm-hmm.
So now my whole thing is we can't go from it being a gas tank to all of a sudden it's like it plays more of an integral part than just being a pretty much gas tank of how much mana you can use at one time. So my thing is we need a distinction. Is mana cores nothing but a figurative gas tank, or is it the engine itself? That's what I'm saying, because we've been told is that mana cores are just like the gas tank. The more you have, the more mana you have, the more powerful spells you use, the longer you can use spells compared to somebody with a weaker core. So now everybody's making it seem like now the cores is more like an engine, to where the higher core, the better engine, the more horsepower it has.
Look,
so I'm trying to figure out what is it really? Is it an engine or is it a gas tank?
Okay, if we're looking at the chat right now, the chat's saying it's more of the engine. The core level plays a big part.
So it's an engine now. So
it's
is it an
way
engine
more
now?
than just a gas tank? Everyone uses Arthur as proof for core. Don't determine strength, but that's really only relevant or applies to Arthur. So it's an engine itself, more stuff you can do. So like I'm reading it, and yes, it probably does have something to do with the amount of mana you have or that you can use, but at the same time, it's kind of engine also. Like, so I mean, this is why I really want to read the light novel, because like I feel like of course they have more information than we do, but I think core level has so much more. Like, you can't base everything off of core level, and Arthur looks at core level, he's looking at everybody else's core level, he's looking at people hide their core levels. A core level seems to have more to do with story than just mana reserve. That was the case, then a person that is dark red, as long as he uses mana reserves correctly, he could beat someone who is a white or silver or whatever that it might go to.
And the reason why I want to bring this up, because we had this discussion with the whole Art and Lucas fight. Lucas has a bigger core than Arthur, but if Arthur had all of his attributes available, we don't believe Arthur would have struggled as much as he did.
Well,
but Lucas has a bigger core, which in this case, if what we're saying, he is quote unquote stronger because his engine, or aka core level, is stronger. Correct?
Right.
So, but everybody says that Lucas is not stronger than Arthur. He just has a bigger core. So my thing is, what is it?
Okay, so
when it comes to these cores, because we keep flip flopping, and I'm just getting confused, because 1 second core levels don't mean as much, next second now core levels mean as much. I mean, but it only applies to certain people.
Okay, think of it like this, right? I mean, like this go back to the Avatar reference. if Zuko versus like Aang with all four elements, even though Zuko might be stronger, even though Arthur is stronger than fire, but I mean, water just counters him in general.
But we've seen that that's not always the case.
Well, I mean, even if it's not always the case, Arthur has blue flames, which I mean, if you want to make your fire harder, then what was it? Don't isn't like wind one? He gets use wind. He could combine elements. Like he's a quad element. So like you can just there's so many ways that he can beat Lucas, and that's the point. That I mean, like he was just using his weaker elements, which were wind and earth. Like if he had water, if he just threw water in there, like forget it. It's done. It's over with.
I get the element. I get the elemental differences. But as we've seen, if you put a Squirtle against a Charizard, the Charizard will win, regardless of the differences in the elemental attributes.
Right.
So that's my whole thing.
I guess in this aspect that they haven't really. They've started to when it comes to a school arc to explain cores and that type of thing. I don't know why Arthur's flames are blue or how he made them blue, which is a hotter fire than what Lucas is at his, his current state, or why his fire is hotter or stronger, which seems to be even as lightning deviant. So I mean that's the like. Somehow he's able to understand his magic and take it to a higher level than Lucas is. Doesn't matter what the core level is, the core level strength is, he's able to do that with his magic. Because he understands it fundamentally.
So what is the purpose of how big their core is? If all you can do is just understand it and concentrate, and your same ability that the other person has can be stronger.
Well, that's the thing about.
So the only difference is that one person can use that ability longer than the other.
No, it's not. It's not that, because if you go back to last chapter with when they were explaining how, well, basically they're trying to explain how Sylvie and Art were better mages because they had number one, they didn't have to use like conjure, they didn't have to say any spells out loud. Like they're just better mages because they understand it fundamentally. They don't have to put as much effort in, and they actually understand all these elements better than anybody else. That's why Arthur is able to teach a class and give them like such a simple assignment when he tried to make the conjurers do the opposite of what they normally do, and what conjurers augmenters do the opposite of what they do. That he tried to make do the opposite. So he's saying like, okay, this is how you normally do something. You do a spell, you make it go outwards, and you suck it back in. Like that's the simple things that Arthur can do that they can't do. He understands the fundamentals of magic better than anybody else in that school, at least anybody else around him in his age group. So therefore, Arthur can turn fire hotter, make it blue, and then he can even, do the deviant part of it and make it lightning. But Lucas can't do that. He's a prodigy. He has a very big mana core, and he could do spells over and over again. It has a deep reservoir of mana, but when it comes down to understanding it, making his fire hotter, and even going to a deviant stage of it, he can't do it. That's why Arthur is quote unquote stronger than him. And once the mana cores get to the same color, I guess, it's gonna just make the gap even bigger.
It sounds just real contradictory at this point.
It could.
All right, so let's read the chat. Let's see. All right, so Devin says core equals mana purity / spell strength. He also says capacity equals how much mana you can use. Gas tank. Okay, that's pretty much what that means. Lothar, his wind and earth combined only make up 20% of his core, so he can only use 20% of his total magic capability. the other 70%, which is sealed, so he can't use it to hold its other elements. Okay. Which we understood that. This is just when we get the main. All right, so Khalil say this is just when we get the main gist of the story. So the cores haven't been completely explained, but the core is not about size as power.
Sure.
It just all sounds so contradictory right now.
The student knows spells and Arthur knows magic. I like that one. That's what I was going with. So whatever. I like anything that supports my argument, and that's why I'm keeping it.
Yes, man.
Look, I'm not ashamed to say that.
I feel you. I feel you. I don't know. Like I get what y'all saying. I get what everybody in the chat saying. But it's just sounded like maybe we just need to wait for the story to get to the cores to explain more. Because right now it's just low key sounding real contradictory. People,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna keep it real with you. It's just like 1 second it's a gas tank, but the next second no, it's an engine. But then we turn back and now it's more of a gas tank. So let me get it straight. How about this? When you're under a certain level, when you're a certain mana core, from the very beginning up until, let's say, orange or yellow, it's a gas tank. Then after that, it transforms into an engine once you pass that stage. Is that more accurate?
Okay. Let's just put it this way, right? I think I would think at this current stage of
It's more
how the students use it, the regular student, it's a gas tank. But the thing about it is that just like soul leveling, we compare everybody to Sung Jin Woo. And just like T-Bait, we're looking at it from Arthur's perspective, and he's not using it as a gas tank. He's using it as an engine because he understands how it works. So, I mean, like, if you're looking at everybody else, Tessia, Kathleen, everybody else, it's not Arthur. Yeah, they're using it as a gas tank. They're using their strongest element that they know of, they know how to use, and they do spells off that gas tank. And they keep throwing things at you as long as they can. Arthur doesn't do that.
So Khalil just said I had it. That was correct.
Yeah,
that it starts off as a gas tank, but once you get to a certain level, it evolves and it becomes more of an engine instead of a gas tank.
Well, yeah, but I would put Arthur on the outside of it because if he understands how all this works, so therefore he can convert his gas tank into an engine faster than they are currently.
Okay, so he has 200 horses compared to the Lance's 600 or 700 horsepower. Gotcha.
Yeah, he just uses it more efficiently than most students at his age would do.
Okay,
that's what I'm assuming.
Okay, gotcha.
But he's still nowhere near the 600 horsepower. Like no matter what you want to do, no matter what kind of gas you want to use, what kind of converters you want to put on there, you're not getting that 600 horsepower that the Lancers are.
Right. All right. See that we just need more explanation, which I'm guessing we're gonna get as the story goes on. As Arthur raises his core level, I'm pretty sure more will be explained. But since it's getting pretty late, do we have any predictions on next chapter? We know Marcois died at the end. Trying to figure out who killed the young lad. Did he die from the spell? Did somebody put a hit out on this man to kill him to keep him quiet? That's what I think personally. I think somebody just killed him in order to keep him quiet. But predictions for next chapter.
I think Marcois definitely just died from the spell. It was just one of those things of he couldn't handle the power that was given to him. It probably went out of control. Did some internal damage, so he died. But I think people are going to start asking questions in the DC because this is not a normal thing that's happening. So people are going to be asking questions like, what is this? Where is it coming from? Who is doing it? I think it has to be a teacher that is doing this to the students.
It's always a damn teacher.
Or someone who is trusted among that school community. So it's got to be a teacher that's doing it to people. So that's where they're going to come from because it's the second student it's happened to. So therefore, it's an inside job.
Okay. So do you think next chapter we're gonna find out who that teacher is?
Maybe we might get like a shadow.
One of those shadow type figures.
Yeah, shadowy figures of, this teacher doing it. Maybe it's someone Good Sky might recognize or know. I wonder what her role is in it. But anyways, I can't go too much farther. I know a particular instance what's gonna happen.
I don't think we're gonna get none of that. I think the only thing we're gonna get is mass hysteria. We're gonna get rumors being spread, people trying to figure out what's going on. I'm thinking the news is gonna spread about his death. Rumors are gonna spread about what led to his death. Right. More people are gonna start showing up with the backs, with these spells on their backs or wherever on their body, and things are going to get more crazy to where Good Sky is going to have to spill the beans to the student council and the disciplinary committee on what's going on. That's what I think is going to happen next chapter.
I mean, it's a royal. It's part of royal bloodline who dies, and I'm pretty sure any student that dies that's at school that actually dies, I'm pretty sure it's probably never happened before. So it's gonna send waves. Like, you just can't have a student die and parents not be worried.
Right. So that's exactly what I think is gonna happen. But Trent, you still there? Fall asleep? You dead? You alive? I don't know. You sleep? All right.
No, I didn't fall asleep.
All right.
Close though.
Right. You close, my nigga. You close. What do you think gonna happen next chapter, man?
I don't know, man. It really just depends on where we go with it. I don't think we're going to get anything about God Sky for a while. I think that's just kind of like a little teaser tidbit, and we'll go away from that for a minute. We'll probably, of course, go away from the whole... It'll probably go back to another regular school day.
No way!
I think we're slowing down. We're going back into slow period. I don't want to say slow.
A regular school day.
Yeah.
Not after death.
Maybe a catch-up. Okay, yeah, you're right. I guess I am not factoring in the death scene. Now, there may be some general shock, but again, I don't know if Art's going to be too surprised. It may just, of course, cause more worry, but then I think we'll just get other students talking about it, and then, we got to catch up with the homies like Elijah and crap. So I just feel like it ain't going to be like another intense moment. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this death is marking like a regrouping. You know what I mean?
All right, so what we rating this chapter, fellas? Scale of 1 to 10. I gave it a good solid 9. That's what I gave it.
I'll give it an 8, 9.
Yeah, I'll give it 9 also.
Yeah, I gave it a 9 mainly because the Lancers, we got to learn a little bit more about Baron on strength level, got to learn about Aaliyah, her strength level. We got and the death of Marcois, and that's going to definitely advance the story. Good Sky knowing what's going on, not telling anyone what's going on. So yeah, that's why I gave it a 9.
You know, I don't care about Marcois' death, but
I mean, I don't either, but it moved the story.
The Lances did definitely help as well. I'll give it a 9.
All right. So anything else before we head out for the night?
Nope. Going to sleep.
All right.
Nope. Same.
All right. Well, appreciate everybody for stopping by, rocking out with us. A lot of stuff, a lot of confusion, mainly on my part, but that's usually how it goes, par for the course. And let us know in the comment section below what you guys think. What's gonna happen? If you know, don't spoil, please. Give us your takes on the whole mana core gas tank / engine discussion, and let me know what side you on. And or if you have a better way of explaining the cores without spoiling, that is, definitely help us out. Let us know in the comment section below about that. You want to keep up with us, our individual channel links are in the description below, so make sure to definitely go sub and follow each one of those channels. And we will catch you guys tomorrow for a new podcast of Solo. Hopefully we got something to talk about this time. I don't think that was much to talk about last time, but that's just me. But yeah. That's all I got.
Peace.
Peace.